What's up everyone? Today we're going to go over Bitcoin before the FOMC meeting this week. We'll talk about some outcomes and what to expect in terms of Bitcoin price action. We'll also cover a bit of earnings and what that translates to in regarding to trading this market, especially the crypto markets. We'll also cover some Bitcoin liquidations. And at the end of the video, we'll also go through a few altcoins and some trades I'm looking to take, as there will be a lot of volatility this week and it's something I'm looking forward to taking advantage of. So the first thing I wanted to cover was the FOMC meeting. We are expecting an increase of 25 basis points, and that'll take the rate anywhere from 4.5 to 4.75, and this is firmly expected, which means that a lot of the price that you see in Bitcoin right now, it's already priced in as the markets are forward looking. So I do expect some sort of retracement, and that's something I've been talking about for the past few weeks here. So I do think we'll get some sort of retracement, and I don't think we're straight off to a bull run yet. We'll go to this next tab here. The Fed is in QT right now, which is quantitative tightening, which means they're just drawing out liquidity out of the markets. And during times where liquidity is drawn out of the markets, risk on assets do not do well. That includes Bitcoin. And this is likely to continue towards the end of 2023. So I would expect price on Bitcoin to revisit the lows again towards the end of the year. The markets did start off pretty strong this week. GM smashes expectations, and 2022 was a pretty bad year for the automotive industry, but GM seems to be doing pretty well here, which is actually quite a surprise. Same with McDonald's. Even with inflation as high as it is, McDonald's is actually doing pretty well as well. I don't know if you guys noticed the price of eggs, but eggs have been going up. And apparently, maybe McDonald's is just a better alternative, a cheaper alternative at the moment. But certain companies such as like Meta, still not doing well. A lot of tech companies, some are doing really well, some aren't. So things aren't great across the board, which is why I'm a little hesitant on, calling this the start of the bull market alongside quantitative tightening. I do believe we'll see a lot of ranging this year. And ranges can be pretty lucrative if you know how to trade them. So I think this year will be just a year to start accumulating during this range and get ready for the next bull run. Look at the consumer confidence index. We did have this huge drop during the COVID and we went back up. Now we're coming back down a little bit. If you compare this to what was expected, we're still a little bit above what was expected. Even though the markets are doing pretty bad, consumer confidence is actually doing fairly all right now. And I want to look at Bitcoin liquidations here. So we're starting to get a lot of short liquidations, not many long liquidations. I'm expecting one more short liquidation as we are getting a bunch of liquidity buildup, and I'll show you on the charts in a little bit. But we're getting a bunch of liquidity buildup, so I'm expecting a manipulative move both ways to wipe out a lot of liquidity before we get our true sense of direction. If we look at Bitcoin here, we're on the weekly here. So to identify market reversals, you always want to look for the sweep to change a character and retap into demand in terms of bullish price movement. So we kind of have that right now. So if I were to draw this out, this is our first low, this is our sweep, this is our change of character, and now we're just waiting for the retap of demand before we move up here. So that's our sweep, and that is our change of character. So we're waiting for this retap of demand here, and I'll be looking for entry into Bitcoin here. There is a chance that we can dump, possibly some black swan events. This is kind of what happened during COVID, that COVID crash right here. That was definitely not expected after we did make, a new high right here. But more than that, this is more reminiscent of the 2018 crash. So if I show you guys here, so this blue band right here, this is the bull market support band. And you can see that after dropping below it here, we ranged for a little bit below it, and then we had a weekly candle close above it, and then we finally moved up, and then we actually retraced back underneath it, retap into the demand before I move up. And unfortunately this was the COVID drop, but I believe that if this COVID drop didn't happen, probably would have ranged and still moved up. So that is kind of what I'm expecting here. Similarly, so we have our low, our sweep, change of character, and our move up. We have a low, our sweep, our change of character, and a move up. Although I don't believe this would be a very high move, I do think we can still see higher prices, possibly even to like 40K before kind of coming back down, or just like ranging here between like 36 and then moving up next year. So in terms of the macro, there's a lot of possibilities. It's really hard to call it exactly what's going to happen. But in terms of market structure, we are bullish at the moment. So I'm going to go down to the weekly here, or I'm going to go down to the daily. So in terms of the daily, what I am expecting is price to actually come back down below this high and hit this order block right here. Find some sort of long trade here. As the bull market support band kind of expands here as well, I'm expecting price to either retest it and come up, or if we fail to hold the bull market support band, we can definitely see, price drop again. So if we do drop back below the bull market support band, we'll just be back within this range down here. And that could possibly be a idea for a double bottom before moving up. That's definitely possible as well. But in my opinion, I do think on the long term, we're not going to come back down that low, but rather we are going to just retest the bull market support band and come back to fill up some more demand before a large move up. So I'm actually going to go to a shorter time frame here. So we're on the 2 hour. So in terms of the 2 hour, the prices I'm looking at to enter a long trade on Bitcoin is around this golden pocket. If you take the fit from the swing low to the swing high, this is the area that I'm looking for. And this is your order block that we just saw on the daily earlier, just like that. We have the monthly VWAP, the previous week VWAP, the golden pocket, and this order block all lined up right here. Although we can get some deviations, we might get some wicks down here. That is absolutely possible, but this is the area I'm looking at for entering a long trade tomorrow, or this week during FOMC volatility. In terms of short trades, I do think there are a lot of short trades entering the market right now. I definitely wouldn't set limits here, as we can get some fairly large wicks. And if we go over to the daily here, we have fair value gaps going all the way up to almost 28,800. And yeah, if we fill all those fair value gaps, and tap into this order block right here, or get rejected off of this value area low from this previous range, that is definitely possible if we get an extremely volatile move tomorrow or this week. But in my opinion, I don't think that will happen. I think it is possible to sweep out the liquidity from this high right here. That is definitely possible, but we do have a lot of resistance from this previous month VWAP and this order block right here. But if we do end up passing this, we do have a large volume gap that can lead us all the way up to around 30K. So just to recap on Bitcoin, in terms of long trades, this is the area that I'm most interested in. Although we can come all the way back down to around 1800 to retest the range high. So around this area and around this area are my two areas for long trades in terms of Bitcoin, and absolutely DCAing into these levels is something that's possible too, whatever your personal strategy is for DCAing. But in terms of short trades, I definitely will not set limits personally, and I'm going to just observe price action and look for a market reversal. Although we can get some pretty volatile wicks, right? Just say price comes up here, we get a big wick like this, I will still be happy to take the trade entry right here after sweep, confirmation, trade entry, and then I'll take the trade down here. Instead of getting the most optimal entry, this is the safest entry. And that is what I'll be personally looking for in terms of a short trade. But in terms of long trade, I am willing to set limits, and I'll probably set limits within this area right here. So now to go over some altcoins. So I'll go over Ethereum first. So in terms of Ethereum, my idea is still relatively the same. I do think, although there is an order block right here, this red, I think it is possible to sweep out this liquidity depending on how volatile the moves are. If we go down to a lower time frame here, we've been talking about the range high and range low. Yeah, Ethereum is just coiling right now inside of this apex, and it's definitely due for a volatile move this week. So if Ethereum can hold this range high, we're definitely looking bullish. If Ethereum doesn't hold this range low, we're looking bearish. But just in terms of price action, I do think if we do come down here, we're going to see a slightly larger move down and probably retest the bull market support band on Ethereum before seeing a move up. In terms of the range high, I do think we'll get rejected off of it, but if we see strong price action, a lot of candles closing above, definitely a move up is possible. But in terms of kind of the long term, I do think this order block is a good one. Although we have relatively equal highs right here, I do think it would be a fair trade to trade off of this order block. And my reasoning behind that is that a lot of price action is just fairly exhausted right now, and I do think the price is already priced in from the FOMC meeting. So I do think a lot of the price is already priced in. So I don't think we'll see a much larger move up, but if we do, these highs are something that I'm expecting to get swept out. Definitely keep your stops, not too sensitive, as we're going to have a lot of wicks and a lot of volatile movements. I also want to cover quant here. So quant, this is a move that we saw come in several months ago. I believe it was when I made my first quant video on this channel. We're in the middle of this drop right here. And I said that we were going to get caught somewhere within this area, and then we probably range for a little while, and we end up coming back up into this order block. Definitely check out my first quant video if you guys want a more detailed macro look, but definitely there are a few levels I'm looking at here. This is a key level for on the daily, so I'm actually gonna go down to a lower time frame here to see a little better. So this is kind of what I was expecting for quant, and we're kind of getting something similar. We're getting rejected off the previous week value area, and this is the daily key level right here. I do think if price action does break this with a candle close on the daily, we are looking bearish. We'll see a little bit of price movement up, but we'll ultimately see a move down here. But in terms of taking a long trade, this golden pocket is definitely a good idea, as this golden pocket also lies right on top of the range high of the previous macro range. So this is also a really good area of confluence to take a long trade on quant. If price does end up coming up tomorrow, I do expect this high to get taken out. Probably see a big move here. And you can probably look to enter a trade somewhere around the sweep of this sell side liquidity right here and stop above possibly these weak highs up here. So maybe like a stop above here. That'd be something to look for. And we'll cover one more. We'll cover Link here. So Link has been pretty good. We caught the trade, several trades here towards the bottom of this range, of this macro range here. And I believe some people in the Discord are still holding this trade. I personally sold out of this trade already, but I will be looking for another entry in. We do have a lot of relatively equal highs right here. So if we do have price move back up, definitely expecting those to get swept out before we move down. But if price action is weak on Link, I'm expecting just this daily imbalance right here to get filled and before we move down. So my short on Link will look something like this, and you can DCA into this order block right here on the daily. If this is a confirmed high, we are sending higher or lower highs and lower lows. If this high is confirmed, I'm expecting Chainlink to retest this range bottom again, possibly see another move down. So these are the major altcoins and just some of the major events happening this week that I wanted to cover. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave a comment, or you can definitely message me on Discord or my Patreon. So yeah, if you guys enjoy this content, please make sure you leave me a like and subscribe. I appreciate it a lot, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.